Hello, everyone. An existential crisis is when you start to question the meaning and purpose of your life. You might feel lost, confused, or overwhelmed by the big questions like, why am I here? Or what's the point of everything? It's like feeling a deep uncertainty about who you are and what you're supposed to be doing with your life. So, not gonna lie, but we're going to get deep. Do you ever feel like you aren't sure about your purpose in life, or what are we all supposed to be doing on this planet? Or what is the meaning of everything in life? Well, you aren't alone. I've had existential crisis a few times in my life. It's kind of a weird headspace to be in. However, it's also helped me a lot to put things into perspective. So the other night I was sitting on my balcony staring up at the stars. I absolutely love the night sky when it's clear and you can just look up and there's like no light pollution and you're just able to like look up at the stars. It's so beautiful and so peaceful. But anyways, it made me think to myself how sometimes we worry so much about such small things in our lives compared to this huge and beautiful universe that we exist in. And how sometimes when you just look up at the sky, whether it's in the day or at night, it allows you to gain like a sense of peace. It kind of shows you that it's important to not sweat the small stuff and rather focus on the things that truly matter in life. And I wanted to kind of switch it up this week on the podcast because lately I've been doing episodes that are more fun and lighthearted because I already think so deeply, guys, about so many things in life. It's just who I am. And I sometimes don't always want to talk about deep stuff. Like I want to also speak about things that are more fun and are less serious. Otherwise, I just end up thinking about way too many things and it just sends me spiraling, okay? And sometimes it's good to speak about stupid and surface level things so that you don't take yourself too seriously. But this week, we are going to get a bit more in our feels and emotions, and hopefully it's impactful to you in some way. So this past weekend, I literally had an existential crisis. And it's not comfortable. It's very uncertain. You start to question life and what you are doing, and it takes you down a road where you contemplate a lot. You start to question if your life has any value in it. And for someone that has struggled with depression a lot in life, I'm just being honest, lately I've just been thinking a lot about what the meaning of life is. What am I meant to do with my life? What value do I have to offer? What if things don't work out? And it sounds really dark and weird, but I know that I'm not the only person that struggles with this sometimes. And sometimes you just have times in your life where you just don't find anything fun that you want to do. Like you just don't want to do anything, whether that is work or being social or cleaning your house or doing your favorite hobby. Like everything just feels difficult and you just don't feel up to doing anything. Like for example, if all you do is work and work and work, and obviously you need to because you need to make money to survive, but if that ends up being the only thing that you do or spend your time doing, you end up having an existential crisis eventually, where you contemplate life and you feel really burnt out and you ask yourself, what is the point of life if all I'm doing is just trying to survive and making it to the next stage and surviving until the next day and just passing by each day and not fully being present in the moment and actually enjoying it? Like you end up feeling that you aren't actually living. You're just basically surviving and you aren't being present. You aren't excited about everything. You just feel like you're floating by and you're constantly on autopilot. Like when I go through stages where I don't feel like doing anything, I just feel like laying in bed. I don't feel like seeing anyone. And personally for me, it has to do with my anxiety and how my subconscious mind like convinces me that doing anything fun isn't really worth it. And my brain kind of convinces me that rather keep to yourself and do the bare minimum because that is what is more comfortable and safe. And do I enjoy being like this in the moment? Of course, because we remain in our comfort zone. We feel more safe and secure and less stressed. But in the long run, does it make me happy? No, it doesn't, because I'm not actually living my life. I'm playing it super safe, and the days are just going by, and it ends up in me becoming more depressed, because then I'm thinking about how I'm not actually living. I'm just on autopilot, basically operating like a robot, not actually immersing myself in life. So, are you a skincare girly like me? Well, I recently tried Serene by Zahraa, and it's absolutely amazing for your skin, guys. Like, it exfoliates the skin, it removes dead skin cells, it brightens the skin, it helps to reduce any razor burns and ingrown hairs, it leaves the skin feeling really smooth and fresh. It also helps to unclog pores and has so many amazing skincare benefits. So it comes in two different scents, lavender and tea tree. My personal favorite is lavender. I absolutely love it. Like, it just gives you a nice, relaxing, beautiful zen vibe, and I'm just obsessed with it. So thank you so much, Serene by Zahraa, for sponsoring this week's episode. I absolutely love it, and I will insert the link in the description. So definitely check it out, guys. And life sometimes feels like working and then kind of fleeting moments of joy in between. And that sounds so sad to me. Like, if you think about it, a lot of our life is about working, and then there are those small ounces of joy that we might experience when we do something fun, like go to a party or getting lunch with your family or spending the day at the beach. And those are all enjoyable things to do. And working isn't a bad thing either. Like, I personally love being busy, or working, or running errands, or focusing on my goals, because that gives me a sense of purpose. But when we forget to take the necessary steps in life to reflect and ask ourselves, why am I doing what I'm doing? Am I truly happy in life? What actually fulfills me? What do I really want to do with my life? And these are all important questions to ask ourselves. So even though experiencing an existential crisis now and then can be uncool and uncomfortable, I feel like it's needed in order to actually give us some perspective so that we can check in on ourselves and make sure that we are living our lives and doing things that make us happy. I struggled with figuring out my purpose for a long time. Sometimes I still question, what is my purpose? Well, to me, life is about helping others, right? It's about contributing something positive into the world, whether you are passionate about being a barista, making someone's coffee, and that one cup of coffee is going to make someone feel good and add some goodness to their day. Or whether you're like a cleaner, making sure that the mall is nice and clean and sanitary and really enjoyable for people. Or if you are an entrepreneur and you've like solved an issue that someone struggles with and you've now turned it into a business that is helping people. It's like having purpose comes in various forms, but the root of it stems from helping other people. So asking yourself, what skills do I have? What are my passions in life? What am I really good at? What are my positive qualities? What value can I add into the world? Well, these are all questions that are going to help you figure out your true purpose in life. And once you figure out your purpose, you are able to live your life with more conviction, more intention, more joy, and more discipline, because you know what you're meant to do. And now you have the knowledge of what you want to do with your life, so that each day you can actually start working towards that. So in having those moments where you end up questioning life and your existence, be aware of the questions you are asking yourself and the thoughts that you are thinking, because it gives us some perspective and guidance when we may seem lost and unsure about what to do next. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Sometimes we need those moments to actually motivate us to figure out what truly makes us happy in life. So I want to discuss 2 ways to navigate an existential crisis. And the first thing is self-exploration. So take time to reflect on your values, your beliefs, and your passions. So do more activities like journaling, meditation, reading, or therapy to kind of gain more insight into yourself and what truly matters to you. By understanding yourself, you can start to create a clearer sense of purpose and direction, which means you will feel less overwhelmed and more clear-minded. So the next thing is finding meaning. So focus on the things that bring meaning and fulfillment to your life. This could mean pursuing hobbies that you've always wanted to try, spending, time with people that you love, setting meaningful goals, and stepping outside your comfort zone. Because finding purpose in daily activities, it can help you to deal with feelings of existential uncertainty and also provide a sense of direction and enjoyment in life. Instead of letting your mind and thoughts hold you back, start stepping out into the unknown and embracing uncertainty instead of being fearful of it. When we sit on the sidelines in life, it does nothing for us and it keeps us stuck. Unlike when you choose to actually jump into life and do more things that make you happy, defy those odds by simply trying things and learning from those experiences. Like, if you want to do something that is your passion, go for it. If you don't try, you will never know. And you never really lose in life. You either win or you learn something really valuable. So you can't just sit there and complain if you haven't even tried. And I feel like it's also always important to show gratitude for all of the good things you do have, because that way it only brings more abundance. Like, I've tried so many things in my life, and some of it I failed at, some of it were a success, but the one thing that I hold really valuable to me are those lessons that I've learned from those experiences, because when I move forward, I have wisdom from certain experiences. So I know what to do and I know what not to do. So I feel like if you don't even try, you will never know. And it's so important to focus on doing things that actually genuinely bring you happiness and that you are passionate about. And it's important to just believe in yourself and do your best and just try. So thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of the Chill Out podcast. I hope that it was impactful for you. I hope that it was a positive episode for you. And I hope it made you kind of think about what you really want in your life. As always, I love hanging out with you. Don't forget to also check out my YouTube channel, new videos every week, new podcast episodes every Wednesday, and of course, check out my book on Amazon. It's called Bright Days Ahead. It's all about mental health. It's all about finding the positive in the negative and allowing that to propel you forward. So I love you, and I will see you guys next week. So yeah, ciao.